What is good, everybody, man? This is your guy, Manny, and this is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. Welcome to another episode of the Back Row Commander Show. We're talking, what are the Washington Commanders going to do at pick 11? What can they possibly do? There's tons of options, tons of choices. I'm going to run my intro, and I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to explore several different scenarios that could happen. I might even do a live mock draft while we are on this stream. So let's go ahead and get this thing on and popping, and then we'll take it from there. Bloopers. In the midst of finding my intro. All right, there. So we obviously know that the Washington Commanders are in dire need for a wide receiver. They are in dire need for a linebacker. We need a free safety. There's tons of choices, tons of different scenarios that could happen in this draft. And you're going to see players get traded before the draft. You're going to see different things that is going to change everything. Let's say, for example, Deebo Samuels gets traded, right, to the Jets. That means that the Jets possibly trade pick number 10, which means that the Jets San Francisco most likely will be in the market for a wide receiver. Now, I don't think San Francisco takes a wide receiver at pick 10 if they do acquire that pick from the Jets, but it's just something to think about. Let me see who's in the chat. What's good, my brother? Appreciate you hopping on the stream, man. It's going to be a quick short stream. So I had a post that somebody had the other day, and the post made so much sense. They listed 6 players that the Washington Commanders could possibly be looking at pick 11. Let's say for some odd reason the team does not trade down. There's different scenarios to why the team might not trade down. Number one, you have Kyle Hamilton. If Kyle Hamilton falls to number 11, to me, he's possibly the best defender in this draft. We're not talking about the pass rushers. I know there's some pretty good pass rushers in this draft. There's some pretty good linebackers in this draft, but we all know that we're not drafting a linebacker. Kyle Hamilton is so versatile. He can play the linebacker spot. He can play both safety spots. He's just a generational talent. He's a special talent. And if Kyle Hamilton falls to 11, it's a no-brainer. You got to take him. That's just my opinion. There are other people who say, oh, no, you need a wide receiver. You do not need a wide receiver at pick 11, okay? Now, if Kyle Hamilton falls, or Stingley, or Sauce Gardner, you really got to think about it, because these are 3 players that can come in and change any team. You add one of these 3 guys, Washington's defense takes a whole nother step. Now, corner is possibly not something that you're looking for in the first round, but I'm telling you guys, if you go ahead and grab a guy like Hamilton, it's game changer. What's good, Jairus, man? Appreciate you hopping on the stream. So back to my list. There's 6 players, like I said: Kyle Hamilton, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Chris Olave, Derek Stingley Jr., and Sauce Gardner. Now, obviously, you don't take Olave at 11. You can trade back. If you trade back from 11 down, then you can take an Olave and then acquire an extra pick in the 3rd or maybe 4th. You just acquire more assets. Olave is pretty good. He creates separation. He's possibly the smoothest route runner in this draft. So I like Olave a lot, but not at 11. Now, when you look at Drake London, I'm not a big Drake London fan, but he's a guy that you got to grab if he's there at 11, if that's what you're looking for. By far, the 2 top guys that you would grab at wide receiver if they're there at 11, that makes a lot of sense, is Garrett Wilson and Drake London. The value is just so rich at 11 to grab one of those 2 guys. Now, there's a scenario where you can trade back and then you acquire an extra 3rd. Then you can possibly go Brisker in the 2nd round, right? You can go linebacker of your choice. You can go tight end. You can go running back if you chose, because you have that extra 3rd round pick. But with limited assets, right, you can't really do too much. I did say that I was going to do a mock draft. I will do that while I'm in the stream. I tried so hard to keep my mind off of draft talk, but I mean, at this point, I literally have to talk draft because next week the draft is here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get this mock draft on and popping. Hope everybody's doing well that's listening. This episode is definitely going into the podcast for sure. So let's see what a mock draft looks like. Let's see what a mock draft looks like, especially doing this thing live. We'll probably do 2 mock drafts or 3 just to see the different scenarios. So here's Washington at pick 11, right? We need a trade partner, okay? Let's look at – there's several teams. Let's go ahead and start the draft, and then we'll go ahead and make some trades. So checking trades. Let's see. New Orleans Saints. But here's the thing with New Orleans. They traded to get the Philly pick, which I don't think they're going to trade any more assets to move up, but you never know. There might be a player, maybe a quarterback that ends up at pick 11 that they might want. So let's say we trade back from 11 to 16, right? Then we acquire their pick 98 or maybe pick 120. Let's go for 98. Just makes more sense. So we pick up pick 98. Let's go ahead and make this trade offer. They accept the trade. We resume the draft. So now we slide back 3 or 4 spots, right? So in this group right here, we don't need a center. We don't need a tackle. We're not going to draft another linebacker, even though I love Nakobe Dean. You don't take a linebacker in the first round. You don't take an off-ball linebacker in the first round. That's a rule that I'm learning. So you have Chris Olave. I do love Sky Moore, but Sky Moore for me is a guy that I'll grab in the second round. I think that Sky Moore is possibly the best slot wide receiver in this draft, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for an outside wide receiver, whether they're big, whether they're small. We just need a guy that can go out there and create separation. Now, I do like Dotson in the second round as well, but I'm going to go Chris Olave right here just for this example that I'm doing. Maybe the next one that I'll do one where I do not take a wide receiver at pick 11. So we have drafted Chris Olave in the first round with pick 16. All right, let me get back on my screen. I keep trying to go back and forth, talking to you guys and then coming back. All right, so we've made our pick. So now at pick 47, we definitely need a game changer. We need a guy who can step in right away and, play ball. Leo Chenal, I like him. You have Brisker, Juwan Brisker. You have Brian Asamoah. You have Troy Anderson. There's so many great options within this group of guys right here. And then, Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall. These are guys that we can possibly draft. If you say you want Carson Wentz to have a successful season, you want to surround the team with a lot of weapons, which means possibly grabbing one of the top tier running backs. To me, it's Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall. Then it's everybody else, okay? But for this scenario, since we need a game changer on defense, I'm going to go ahead and grab Juwan Brisker, safety. The guy's a beast. Look him up. So I grabbed Brisker at pick 47, okay? And we continue with this draft. Our next pick would possibly be pick 98 that we acquired from the Saints. Let's see what we do with this pick right here. All right, so with this pick right here, you got several choices. We already got a safety. We don't necessarily need another wide receiver right here, even though you want to load up. We keep scrolling down. We do need a linebacker. Maybe this is the round that we grab a linebacker. Who's out here? Oh, man. Let me go to the linebackers to see who would be worth taking at this spot. And if you don't see a linebacker that you like, you can always go tight end here and then come back. So we have Shannon Tindall. We have Brandon Smith from Penn State. We have Darian Beavers. We got some really, really good choices right here. I do like Beavers a lot, but I'm going to go with Shannon Tindall at pick 98. So now we have covered the need for safety. We've covered the need for linebacker. And now With our 113th pick, this is where you kind of get creative. Now we need an offensive weapon. We already have a wide receiver. We need either a tight end or we need a running back. So I'm going to go and look at the running backs that are available. Let's see if a guy like Zamir White is available. Zamir White is gone. He's a guy that I felt could possibly fit perfectly with this team. But if Zamir White is gone, the other running back that I'm really liking, really loving this year is Pierre Strong. Pierre Strong is just skyrocketing up my boards. Personally, I think he's the third best running back in this draft. So I'm going to grab Pierre Strong to go with Antonio Gibson. I think that's going to be a good pairing right there. You need as much weapons as possible. Now, with our next pick, we can look for a tight end, or we can look for depth pieces for the rest of this team. So you come out here. Here's the best of the bunch. You have the guard from North Carolina, Joshua Ezedu. I'm Nigerian. I should be able to pronounce his last name, but it's a unique name that I've never heard before or seen before. You don't need another quarterback. I think we're good on quarterbacks. Ty Chandler would have been a good pick here if I didn't go running back prior to this pick. I mean, at this point in the draft, you just grab a piece. Let's go ahead and grab another guard. Let's grab a guard. Let's see what we're going to grab with our last 7th round pick. And it's vital that we pick up a 3rd round pick in this draft, because if not, we're really limited in picks. You can grab another linebacker. At this point, you're just grabbing depth pieces that are going to help you out. You're grabbing people that are, you're grabbing pieces that are going to do everything possible. There go my baby boy, y'all. Y'all say what's up to the baby boy. Let's grab a tackle. We're going to go ahead and run the next mock draft. But I'm going to share my results in a minute for those who just hopped on. And then y'all let me know what y'all think about this draft. Oh, we got one more pick. So we've gotten a tackle. Let's get an interior defensive lineman, because we need one of those desperately. With losing pieces like Ioannidis and Settle. So let's see what the rest of our draft looks like. All right, so in this scenario, I traded back from 11 to 16 and picked up an extra 3rd, which is pick 98. We got Chris Olave at pick 16. We got Jawan Brisker at pick 47. We got Shannon Tindall at pick 98. We got Pierre Strong at 113. Then we got the guard from North Carolina, Joshua E. at 189. Then we got a tackle and an interior defender to finish out the rest of our draft. And these are guys that, they're going to fight to make the team. Now, the computer does not like me picking Pierre Strong in the 4th round. But I'm telling you guys, I'm high on Pierre Strong. I think that Pierre Strong is the 3rd best running back in this draft. He had a nice 40. He has nice size, power, speed. So y'all look up Pierre Strong. Last year, I wanted Ramondre Stevenson, who got drafted to the Patriots, and I believe he went in the 4th round. And Ramondre Stevenson has a chance to be a really good running back in this league. I can see him as the running back of the future for the Patriots. So a lot of times you got to go ahead and grab the guys that you believe in, especially when you have, when people are scouting. And, we have all these scouts that have watched these guys play every single snap. So it's time to start to see what kind of scouting is behind the Washington Commanders. I'm going to go ahead and do another draft. This one, I'll try to find a different trade partner and then do something different. Let's say that we don't go wide receiver in the 1st round. So let's say, let's go ahead and who has some later picks? Let's see. Chargers have pick 17. Pittsburgh has pick 20. Pick 20 sounds very, very nice right now. So we can do pick 20 and possibly pick up pick 84, because I'm not going for pick 38 if I'm, moving down. So pick 84, we offer the trade. Trade is accepted. Now we start the draft. So let's see what happens when we trade back from 11 to 20. So What's good, Roger? Roger says we need to move JD to wide receiver exclusively. I'm okay with that. But if you move JD to wide receiver, then goodbye Curtis Samuel. There is no place for Curtis Samuel if JD's playing wide receiver. Because JD is literally a slot wide receiver, right? Playing running back. So you move JD to the slot, then Curtis Samuel, where do you put him? And I don't even trust Curtis Samuel, honestly. Until he shows me something on the field, I don't know who he is. So, yeah, I'm kind of down on Curtis Samuel right now, which is why I desperately think the team needs a wide receiver in this draft. So here's another scenario where we've traded down to 20. And in this range, that's the range where you're going to see Chris Olave. You're going to see him around this range. He's a wide receiver that could go, somewhere around here. Now, if I'm trading down, right, I'm trading down to grab a wide receiver because all of the other all of the other choices that we could have grabbed are gone. Like, I don't see us taking any offensive lineman, right? A guy like George Pickens is available, but I like George Pickens like in the late 20s. Let's say we traded with the Kansas City Chiefs or Green Bay Packers to get one of those first-round picks or a first and a third or whatever the case may be. George Pickens is a guy that I like in the mid to late second. Beast from Georgia, had that great freshman year and then got hurt. So for me, it's Chris Olave once again. If I'm trading down to 20, that means we're trading down to grab a wide receiver. You could take a safety in the first round, but it just doesn't make too much sense. Like, you can trade down and get a Juwan Brisker if you traded with Kansas City, right? It's going to be a super, super late first. I don't see a wide receiver being an option there. Maybe you grab a guy like John Mechie with pick 47 if you go Brisker in the first round, if you're picking like pick 29 or whatever the case may be, whatever pick Kansas City has. So all kinds of scenarios. I'm just kind of going through just everything. So we come back, and with this pick right here, his Brisker, he's staring at me again, but this time we're not going to go Brisker. We're going to go linebacker. You have Leo Chenal, who I love, Brian Asamoah, I love him too. Troy Anderson, he's nice. These are guys that you can get later on in this draft, but I'm going to pick a linebacker. I'm going to go Brian Asamoah just because. So our very next pick is going to be that pick that we acquired in the trade with Pittsburgh, which is pick 84. Hopefully there's something nice waiting for us at pick 84. Hopefully a tight end. McBride might be gone by now. Let's see what tight ends are available with this pick right here. All right, this guy, Jeremy Rucker, has been moving up the boards. People are talking about him. He has a chance to be a special tight end. You have Cade Otton, he's nice. But a lot of these tight ends are going to be system guys. Outside of the top two or top three, I do love this class. Obviously, this class is way better than the class that had Cole Kmet as his best tight end. Jelani Woods has tons of upside. And he's going to be a guy that goes in the second or third round. You know what I'm saying? He's an athletic tight end. You have people talking about James Mitchell, Cade Otton, like I told you guys. Chisholm Okonkwo, he's another tight end from Maryland. So you have a nice group of guys. Charlie Kolar, Isaiah Likely. The list goes on. You can get lucky and find one of these other tight ends in the fourth round if you're lucky. So let's just skip tight end for now. We've grabbed our wide receiver. We've grabbed our linebacker, right? So let's look at safety. Let's see what's going on in safety right now. I put special teams. My bad, y'all. I'm tripping. There it is. All right, so you have Brian Cook. You have Dane Belton. I'm not familiar with a lot of these guys. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not familiar. I'm not going to lie if I know these guys. I haven't heard much of any of these guys. I've heard Marquise Bell as a later guy. Smoke Monday, what a name. So safety does seem like an option at this point in the draft. Let's see what's best available. Carson Strong, I think that Carson Strong is going to be that Davis Mills type guy this year. Whatever team that grabs Carson Strong, he's a guy that you grab and stash and see what you have in him moving forward. But I don't think we draft a Carson Strong because I don't know if he can be a franchise quarterback. His medicals have to check out. At the end of the day, we are tied to Carson Wentz for at least 2 years. At least 2 years. It just only makes sense buying into Carson Wentz. And then you can see us grabbing some athletic tight ends because Carson Wentz is a tight end kind of guy. So at this point in the draft, you can go corner. You literally could go running back. Honestly, that's possibly where I would go. If I picked up this extra pick right here, I possibly would go running back. And like I said, I love Pierre Strong. I also love Zamir White. I think Zamir White will be a perfect complement, just like Pierre Strong, to Antonio Gibson. So in this scenario, I'm going to go running back. James Cook is nice. He's versatile, but I like Zamir White better for what we're trying to do, being that Gibson is already here. I think that Zamir White has that Nick Chubb type potential in the NFL. So I'm going to go Zamir White right here in the third round. Third round, fourth round is going to be the sweet spots for running backs. You're going to see maybe 2 running backs go in the second round, maybe 3 if a team loves Isaiah Spiller. But I think that third and fourth round is where you're really going to get your bang for your buck. Tons of value when you're drafting a running back. So we took Zamir White. Now, at this point in the draft, now we go get our tight end. I think that the sweet spot for Washington has to be in the fourth round. And like I said, there's tons of guys that you can grab, from Jake Ferguson to Charlie Kolar to Kate Otten. I'm going to take Jeremy Rucker. Ohio State has tons of upside. Some people like him. Some people don't like him. He's climbing up the boards. He can be a sleeper in this draft. Some people are projecting him to be the best tight end in this draft. So we don't know. Trey McBride is a name that everybody knows and loves. And then, some people like Watermeyer. And there's tons and tons of tight ends. Rucker could be a gem. You know what I'm saying? We have to remember that George Kittle was drafted in the 5th round. He wasn't used in college. He comes to the NFL, and he's being used perfectly. Hey, what's good, Hawk, man? Appreciate you hopping on the stream, man. Appreciate you, bro. It says we need to hop on Cook at running back. I love Cook. I think that Cook is a lot similar to what Antonio Gibson gives you. If you're bringing in a Cook, I can't even get my words out. My bad, y'all. If you're bringing in Cook, that means possibly him and Gibson. I understand that Ron Rivera loves versatility and position flex and all of this, and Cook is great, a great receiving back, and he can run the ball as well. But it's just, Scott Turner does love running backs that can do a little bit of both, right? You want a guy that can catch and run. So Cook does make sense. I'm okay with Cook, but I'm also okay with Zamir White. What's good, my brother? DMV Sports Zone in the building, man. Appreciate you hopping on. So, this draft right here is it's kind of crazy so far. So at this point in the draft, you're just kind of grabbing whatever that's available out of what you need. We do need a guard. We do need guard depth. And excuse me. This guard out of North Carolina just keeps jumping out to me. He just keeps jumping out to me. He's like, draft me. So we draft the guard from North Carolina, Joey E. I'm not going to attempt his last name again. Now at this point in the draft, 7th round, you're grabbing pieces for both, offensive line, defensive line. So I would possibly say grab a defensive lineman. I really don't care who they grab at this point. These are guys that could make the team, might not make the team. The scouts, this is where the scouts get paid. This is what they get paid to do. You could elect to grab another linebacker just because you just need as much help at linebacker as possible. And there's nothing better than bringing in the guy out of the draft that's hungry, 7th rounder. They fight. These guys are the guys that fight to make the team. The majority of the league is made from 4th rounders to 7th rounders. These are the depth pieces. These are the guys that can play special teams. So in this portion of the draft, you're looking at a guy to fill a position, but you also need guys on special teams. So you can elect to grab an offensive lineman and another tackle, but what are the chances that a 7th round tackle makes the team? Charles Leno made the team, made the Pro Bowl, right? So you just never know. You can grab a linebacker at this spot. You can grab a tackle at this spot. Let's just go linebacker. So we doubled up on linebacker. You just get to add it to what we already have, and maybe you grab a veteran in free agency, and that rounds up your linebacking core with 6. We'll see what happens in free agency. I still think that the team grabs a few guys that they don't, grab after the draft. Now, the computer does not love my Zamir White pick in the third round. I don't think that the value for this system wanted a running back in the third. I mean, running back in the fourth would have been a sweet pick, but I wanted to kind of switch things around since I did get Pierre Strong in the fourth round in the last mock. So you have Chris Olave at pick 20, Brian Asamoah at pick 47, Zamir White at pick 84, Jummy Rucker at pick 113. You have Joshua E. from North Carolina in the sixth round. And in the seventh round, we just picked up an extra defensive lineman in the interior and then a linebacker in Jan Sandburn. He just sounds like a killer. You know what I'm saying? Jack Sandburn. Like he could be a Cole Holcomb type guy. So you just never know. So I'm about to dive into these comments. It says, remember Ron had Stewart and Williams, 1-2 punch. Yes, but you remember Stewart was more of the runner, right? And then Williams was the one that was versatile that can catch the ball. So you don't want two running backs to do the exact same thing. I get what you're saying. And look, Cook will fit. I like James. I'm a James Cook fan, okay? But I just feel like Zamir White just has that intangibles of an actual pure runner. He's an actual pure runner. He's a guy that when he gets the ball, he's going to grab 3 yards per contact. You know what I'm saying? You can't go wrong with either or. But yes, Ron Rivera does want to run the ball, regardless of Carson Wentz being here. He wants to run the ball. So I definitely see Washington definitely grabbing a running back in this draft. If not in the third, if they acquire a third, most likely the fourth round is a sweet spot for either running back or tight end. I do think they grab one of those guys, or they trade back in the fourth and pick up an extra fifth just to pick up another tight end and running back combo. But I do see us grabbing one of these running backs. This league, this draft is filled with running backs. You have some guys that are sleepers in here that can come in and provide depth or provide a complement. Obviously, outside the top 3 or 4 guys, you have guys like Rashad White that's versatile that can do a little bit of both. But I'm sick and tired of having these versatile position flex running backs. Give me a real running back. Give me a running back that actually was born to be a running back. Don't give me a guy that was born to be a receiver. Now he's playing running back. No, give me a pure runner, a guy who understands running. You have Jared Patterson, but you need more. So if not James Cook, then you can get a guy like Zamir White. There's tons of guys, like I said, in this draft that can be 2 down, 3 down running backs. So let's see what happens. Let me see. Did 2 mock drafts. I'm not gonna do any more. But at pick 11, like I said earlier on, for those who are just now joining, there are definitely like up to 6 choices that I'll be okay with. And it's Kyle Hamilton, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Chris Olave, Derek Stingley Jr., and Sauce Gardner. Give me the sauce. So any of these 6 at pick 11, I'm cool with. And I'm also cool with a trade back scenario to where we do add a weapon. If we do not come out of this draft with a wide receiver who has potential to be a star wide receiver, I'll be mad. Or if you don't get a wide receiver that is capable of creating separation or creating some kind of because Terry's always double, triple. Let's get some eyes off of Terry. Let's get a guy that complements him. You still have Curtis Samuel in the slot. So we're not looking for a jag. No offense to De'Ami Brown. No offense to Antonio Gandy Golden. We need a guy that can be special. That's what we're looking for. That's why I'm looking for a wide receiver in the first or second round. Guys like Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, Deebo Samuels, DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown, those guys are hard to find. Those guys were found outside of the first round, right? But how easy is it to find those guys? So you got to take a stab at a wide receiver in the first and second round because, this wide receiver, this draft class is so rich in wide receivers that you can really grab somebody really, really nice in these first 2 rounds. John Mechie's out there. Sky Moore is out there. Christian Watson, he's more of a project. He's out there. But I don't know how he fits in the scheme. But he is a bigger receiver. He's 6'4", tons of speed. But I still think that he needs to refine his game. So there's tons of wide receivers in this draft. I'm excited about it. Hopefully we come out with the right guy. I really don't necessarily care who we grab, but we got to grab a wide receiver. We have to come out of this draft with either a linebacker or a safety. And hopefully a linebacker or a safety that has potential to become a star. Like we're not looking for for just pieces to just put on the team. We're looking for game changers. And I'm okay with drafting a game changer in the first round, whether it's defense or offense. We need another game changer in the second round. Then if we don't trade back, if we don't make any trades, and those are the first two picks that we have in day 1 and day 2, I'm okay with it. Playmaker, wide receiver with the potential to become a star. I think that Terry does get paid. So, but there's also an insurance just in case that something goes south with Terry. The Deebo Samuels talks, you guys can put that to bed. It's not happening. You haven't paid Terry, and Deebo hasn't been paid. I think Deebo wants a unique situation where he picks a team that he goes to and picks the quarterback that he wants to play with. Yeah, we have tons of needs. It's on to the draft. If I don't see you guys before Thursday, I want to say good luck in the draft. Happy drafting. Hopefully, we draft a few guys that the fan base is happy with. The funny thing with the fan base is no matter what the Commanders do, you're either going to be happy or sad. Like it's like there's no in between. There's no, okay. With the Carson Wentz deal, everybody was either on board or not on board. So it's going to be the same way with the draft. Just remember, if the Commanders do not draft a wide receiver in the first round, it's not the end of the world. Now, I will be mad if they go with the off-ball linebacker in the first round. I would be pissed off, okay? Kyle Hamilton is special, like I said before. If they grab him at pick 11, I'll be excited. Don't think of Kyle Hamilton as a Buffalo nickel, as a Buffalo nickel linebacker or whatever you want to call him. He's not coming here to just be a Buffalo nickel. He's coming here to be a playmaker. We're going to be able to move Kyle Hamilton all over the field, similar to what the Pittsburgh Steelers do with Minka Fitzpatrick. So keep that in mind. He's going to be a game changer. He's going to be a Troy Polamalu type of guy where you're looking for him. Offenses are looking for him. They're game planning against this guy. They're like, where is he coming from? This is a guy that you want to take out the game plan, and he's that special. Kyle Hamilton is the real deal. So, guys, this is my time. This is the Back Row Washington Commanders show. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream and this episode. If you guys have Apple, Spotify, subscribe to the Back Row Commanders show. Tons and tons of content go on there. Even when I don't stream, I still record and put content on that podcast, the Back Row Commanders show. So, guys, this is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. Please like, please subscribe, please share, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.